Again, let's do this one more time. Hello everyone, Mr. Storian here, and today we're going to take a look at Miles Morales, aka the Ultimate Spider-Man, and I'm so sorry, this is so immature of me, but I can see his ball sack, and... Oh god, Miles, why? Anyway, let's talk about Miles Morales. Because I feel like we have to, because the internet has supplanted this character into our pop culture. And I originally liked Miles, but now I freaking don't like Miles because of oversaturation. Okay, let me explain. The Marvel Ultimate run of Spider-Man was the best run of comics probably in the early 2000s. I loved it. It was a really great reinvention of the character Spider-Man and the whole mythos around it. I liked the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, but they decided to throw us a freaking nail in the coffin and decide, hey, we're gonna kill off Spider-Man! And I was just like, okay. I read the comic, I liked the story because it felt like a fitting end to the character. But guess who came on along? A little spider named Miles freaking Morales came along, and he was actually pretty cool. Why was he cool? Because he was different than Peter Parker. Yes, he's a legacy character that actually has different unique powers, so I can expect some different movesets like this Venom Shock and Invisibility. I like that. I like that if the legacy character comes in, there's something new. But at the same time, it's a legacy character. So they're trying to capitalize on the success of a previous Spider-Man. And none of that is more evident in Miles freaking Morales. Oh, I like that he has the Venom Shock. As much as I hate this character, he is pretty unique in that his powers do differ from just, I have webs, pew pew pew, or I have the sense of a spider. It's like his spider was more advanced than Peter's, so that's why he can do more stuff like the Venom Shock and so much more. But guess what happened really recently that made me really despise this character? Everything that happened. Into the Spider-Verse. Why? Because everyone, well, it's not just Into the Spider-Verse, but Into the Spider-Verse is guilty of this. Everywhere you go, there's Miles Morales. I don't mind Miles because I think Miles is actually a pretty good character when he's written well. But when he's shoehorned in just to be like, we gotta have Miles Morales in it, it bothers me. Like, I didn't mind that he was in the Spider-Verse. I actually appreciate that that was very dark and very mature storytelling. But when you come along and just be like, Miles is here, okay. That's why I wasn't a big fan of him in this, into the video game, because he was just kind of there and just there because we're like, we have to have Miles. Okay, in that regard, I did like him in the Spider-Man game. I felt that was a better performance. But he's an oversaturated character that I'm getting a little tired of. But at the same time, he is relatable. Like, during his initial run, he was probably like one of your more obscure Marvel characters that no one really knew about. It was just like, oh, Miles Morales, because he got a DLC costume in like every Spider-Man game. And because of that, Miles grew in popularity, and then the Ultimate Spider-Man show came out. They did not deal with the death of Spider-Man, they just had it be an alternate version of Spider-Man through a different dimension, which I like better than him being Earth Prime. I never liked Miles being part of an Earth Prime or being part of the original Earth with Peter Parker, because I like the death of Spider-Man to be its own entity. I can understand why they would incorporate it. But every time it feels like, hey, we're introducing a character with the last name Morales or Davis, like they did to not Far From Home Homecoming, and they're like, oh, well that means Miles is in it. Let's have Miles in everything now. And I'm doing this weird dance, it's like, let's have Miles everywhere. And oh God, Miles, why do you do this? I was rooting for you to appear in our media. I really was. Back in this run, I was like, that's an actual character. I hope you get to run. But I think I like the storytelling more than I like the character models. So I like the idea of I got Spider-Man being like, I gotta learn how to be Spider-Man without Spider-Man. It's a really interesting story. But it's like that dead mentor stuff all over again. But also, in defense of that, I do give credit for Miles being really different. Well, let's talk about this game. And I think Miles is gonna be like Black Panther, and I'm gonna start hating him because he's everywhere. I had a moment in life where I was just like, I really freaking hate Frozen because Frozen is everywhere. I liked it when it came out, but I'm kind of tired of it at the moment. But Frozen 2, Frozen has a little bit of time to chill out, so I can be like, oh, I kind of like it now. But all things considered, Miles is not a horrible character. Again, he's just one of those characters I feel like he's gonna die down for because of oversaturation, which I hope it doesn't happen. I'm rooting for you, Miles. I want you to succeed. You can come all the time I want to succeed, but you guys just, you guys probably want me to root against you. But no, I do like Miles as a character. He is entertaining at times, but again, it's gonna be oversaturation. And plus, he had this whole thing with Gwen Stacy, which I just hated in the comics more about that in the Gwen Stacy video I did yesterday. But God, Miles is just gonna die over saturation. Again, I will say that, I mean, press that. I will say this over and over again. The one thing I like about Miles is that his powers are at least a little bit different than Peter Parker. It's not the same. It's actually kind of interesting. That's why I prefer. If you were like, who do you want rather in a game? I feel like Spider-Man is always going to be in a video game. Like, if Spider-Man's in a Marvel game, okay. Who would you want as an initial Spider character? I would say Miles and then Venom. Because they can offer an interesting moveset. That's the only reason. Another part of me was like, well, I like Craven or something like that. But I think Miles is different enough to be an ultimate character. So, yeah. That's my opinion. I know it very long, so that's just like, well, it just happened. I like to talk about Miles' gameplay. Miles plays, interestingly, he's a spider character, so they're gonna move fast and do a lot of ways, but I do like the electricity, which I did say earlier, is like, I really like the uniqueness of the character. I get this a lot, actually. A lot of my friends, get this misconception about Miles, and it's that he has, claws. I prefer to call them talons, because they're kind of like talons. They're like a giant little finger. Imagine like Toxicroak, if I'm not willing to explain. And, I had some friends that are like, oh! Because I went to see, Into the Spider-Verse with some friends, and we were just like, oh! So, doesn't Miles have talons or like those injectable claws like Wolverine's? Like, no, you're thinking of Scarlet Spider. But they're like, oh, I'm not thinking of Ben Reilly. So yeah, I know you're not talking about Ben Reilly. I hate talking about Ben Reilly's Spider clones. I was actually talking with a friend the other day about how they can incorporate Ben Reilly and Scarlet Spider into the MCU, just not having the clones, just being an alternate identity. Spider-Man while he's on the run from whoever's trying to kill him, which I think is going to be Craven and or Chameleon. Let's see what he does. Oh, he's just like a giant electrode. Okay. Now, I know you're going to be like, oh, who do you want Miles to really, like, in a relationship? Like, if you're not part of the problem, you're not part of the solution, right? People are like, oh, who do you want Miles to get together with if you don't want him to get together with Gwen? With Stacy, like, from the comics. I would say Silk, except for I read more about Silk, and it's just like, oh, ew. If you don't know about Silk, I like Cindy Moon as a character. Silk is probably one of the best modern Spider-Man characters outside of Miles. By the way, I don't have the costume, so I'm just going to replay this again. But Cindy Moon was bit by the same spider as Spider-Man, and so the thing is, she is supposed to mate with Spider-Man, so they're constantly making out, and it's just, okay. Who the hell fucking wrote this? I'm not saying Spider-Man books have been perfect. I think Far From Home is a jumping off point for a lot of Spider-Man movies. They just sucked. But yeah, so Miles. I like Miles' gameplay because he's actually trying to be more unique than most Spider-Man characters. It is nice to see, I want them to get more unique to their Spider-Man characters. That being said, I imagine later down the line, Miles is going to get oversaturated, but I hope not, because Miles is an interesting character. I hope we find a nice balance of him. But in that regard, it's hard to do that to a character who's had a hit movie and toys, and I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. Into the Spider-Verse 2 is supposed to come out, I think, in 2022. I am looking forward to it because I will be like, God, I hope this is good. I hope it's better than the first one. Actually, if anything, I hope it's just as good. I'm going to rewatch it in the Spider-Verse soon, so part of me is like, I should say like all my comments for like later, like when I can be like, oh, what I didn't like, what I actually didn't really. Like I like the visual aspect of it, but at the same time, it's I don't know. I still need to watch the Lego Movie too. I have like a huge list of movies that I need to watch. Sadly, Ocean's 8 is on that list. So Ocean's 8 is what I should have to watch next. And then it's in the Spider-Verse and Meek's Cut Off. Which is a shame because I wanted to watch Meek's Cut Off first, and my friend was like, no, I'm coming down to stay. You want to see Meek's Cut Off too? And it's just like, oh, well, I'm flying down to stay. Like, oh, okay. Whatever works for you, buddy. So Miles, overall, should you beat him? No, I think the only unique thing about his gameplay is maybe, and this is stretching it, maybe because he doesn't just have webs. I like characters that differ from Spider-Man, and it's always good to have different characters, but always kind of in that same area. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and remember, what's up, danger? I can't rap for the life of me. Till then, bye-bye.